Hey everyone, it's Lucid. Welcome back to the Crucible with middle-aged Sceleria. I just want to kind of emphasize at the start of this that this is kind of the game where I learned Sceleria. I had dabbled with them a bit before, but this is the game where I'm kind of learning it. And at the end of this series, I'll probably do some highlights from Let's Plays that came after this. Or not from Let's Plays, but from other games. So I think this is actually a much better game, because once I understood how to play Sceleria better, I just steamrolled over people. But this, you really see me kind of struggling and figuring things out. And there's a lot of things that I don't do early that instead I kind of do later. Anyway, I just want to say that's probably coming in the pipeline. But I hope you're enjoying this kind of grindfest we have. If you recall from the last episode, we have unleashed kind of the full fury of our raiding against Agartha, and so far we have not really seen a huge counter. We do see some interesting things coming out at the beginning of this turn, like Earth Attack, which is a really cool spell that Agartha is now using to shut down some of my raiding, which is good for him. It's definitely a spell that Agartha can spam out, and it is a great way for Agartha to deal with raiders, because Agartha actually struggles with that. They don't have Cloud Trapeze or a lot of things that can move in the magic phase, but this is something that they can just spam out indefinitely. The only thing is, like, if you're picking off a Mount King, I think Earth Attack is... wait, where is it? Is it Conjuration? Yeah. So it's 5 gems, whereas a Mount King is 3. So, depending on who you're getting, it may not be a great Earth to Death gem trade, but it is, you know, if you consider that it's also locking up some of my army that he gets to kill, it could be worth it. So, Agartha casts something. He casts Gift of Health. Not super stoked about that, because that means he's going to be doing a Tart Factory. But I get Arcane Nexus up. And let's see how this all settles out. So, one of these, and I'm not sure whose, one of these went over Earthblood Deepwell. And it may have been his, may have been mine, but he had Earthblood Deepwell up this past turn, but now it's replaced by a Gift of Health. And taking that away from Agartha is actually pretty big. And having Arcane Nexus up for me is also pretty big. We get attacked here by a Wraith Lord with his dudes, but we kill them. I forget exactly what spell this is. Let's check. I think it's Ghost Riders. Yeah, this is it. So, pretty low commitment attack, only 5 death gems. So this is probably Agartha also. And these are just ways where he's trying to kind of deal with all the vast number of threats that are coming at him. And it would work, but it doesn't. So, yeah, the Wraith Lord has fear, otherwise it's just Long Dead Horsemen, and I've got enough stuff in many places to deal with it. Also, you can see here, I'm doing weird things with PD, like sometimes I just do 10, and then sometimes I'm like, hey, we're gonna put 40 PD here, because you probably won't expect that. Let's come down and just look at all of the things. I think that's one of the interesting parts of this game, is there's a huge value in being unpredictable. We are going to get crushed here. That is basically how this is going to go. We'll let us watch, though. So this is what happens when medium commitment attack, or really low commitment attack, because I don't even have mages, these are just priests, run into a high commitment attack, and the result is we do 0 damage, and all of our dudes die. Down here, yeah. Down here, we have a Crystal Sorceress, and so this is a fluffer. I've had some people ask me, what are fluffers? Well, this beautiful woman right here is a fluffer, and she is getting this Marble Oracle ready to go by casting Body Ethereal, which is one of the best thug buffs that you can cast on someone else when you're a fluffer. So she got him all buffed up, and then she ran. And this big statue is all ethereal now and is going to run in and trample my dudes to death. But it's just 1 PD, so That's okay. Coming down... Was there one of those or two? Oh, no, so there are two of those. He's an alchemist. This is a fluffer here. And then... he takes another... So we have 3 in a row where he's taken these back from me. And then in it... Okay, I did take this one. And this one I lost. So right now this is looking like it's a turn for Agartha, but he loses this battle. Okay, big battle here. Let's watch this. This may be mutual self-destruction. So I did a big commitment attack on top of this. And this was not something that he necessarily should have predicted, because I was like moving people from 2 provinces away onto this fort. But we'll see what's happening here. It doesn't look... I don't see a Marble Oracle to do Army of Lead, which if he were to do that, we would be in trouble. But, you know, he has a fair amount of priests. These guys are not high protection, but with Flame Shield, they're going to do a lot of damage before they die, because my guys are going to take damage, obviously, from the AoE attack, but then also from Fire Shield, where just hitting them causes us to take a fair amount of damage. But you can see we overwhelmed them and killed them there, and so that was very, very good for us. So this is the problem. So he did a medium response to what was presumably going to be like a light attack from me, and I just did a slightly higher commitment attack. And so as a result, we killed off a bunch of his stuff. I did lose a few thaumaturgs because my communion was unbalanced, which it probably wouldn't have been unbalanced if I had cast Power of the Spheres, which I know I scripted my guy to do, but then because I had Nexus going up, I was too cheap to put a Pearl on him. So that cost me 4 thaumaturgs, but that's okay. Let's actually watch that. Make sure it didn't come up. Yeah, here are my slaves in front, and they do not have Power of the Spheres. If that was on them, they would have lived, but because it wasn't, it was unbalanced, and they were again scripted for it, but no gem. I think that was this one, yeah. Okay, so coming down, we have another successful raid, another successful raid, another successful raid. Agartha attacks us with the commander just to see what's inside, and he runs away. He takes this from us, an undefended province, and is pinging us here. In this case, he had an assassin here, so let's see who was assassinating. Oh, so this was Earth Attack. So he did 2 Earth Attacks, and they killed both of my Mountain Kings. And then with my Mountain Kings gone, I had no undead leadership in this province, and guess what happens? My guys just disappear. So... that was kind of like clockwork. This is a way to handle any kind of undead raiding, is if you can kill their commanders, then you just send in one guy to attack, and they're all going to fall apart. So that was this. And then so coming down... And that hits me on 2 fronts. One, it hits me on the skeleton front, which I don't really care about, but it gets rid of some of my commanders. And death gems are scarce for me, so killing... killing Mountain Kings is definitely a little painful for me. Okay, wait, here we are. So here, I think we'll watch this actually. So I just have a few Bane Lords, and then he has these guys. Okay, these are only priests. So... yeah, they'll get a few banishments off, but that is about it. Just a massacre. And then down here we have a battle in the fortress of Fort Pangea. Inside we have a few brave mages. What are these all? A fire. Yeah, okay. We may get some lightless lanterns out of the deal. It kind of, on one hand, I feel kind of bad for Marignon because he did kind of win. He was winning all the major fights against me at the end. Just doing that required him to take all of his troops off his other borders, whereas if you compare it to me, yeah, okay, I lost a few fights with him, but did I disarm my other borders? Oh no, I didn't. And that's why he got attacked instead of me. Like, if I had moved all my troops and I had a bunch of empty forts with just priests reanimating dead, and I was moving all of them to that border, then I definitely would have been attacked. But anyway. I do feel bad, because he was winning, and then he just lost through getting backstabbed by Agartha. We have a few events. None are terribly important, and I don't think we got any gems from Arcane Nexus yet, but that will be next turn. But fortunately for you, next turn is this episode, so we'll talk real quick about the movement, and then we will carry forward from there. One is we're putting a temple in Pangaea, because this is ours now. I did not PD it up, but whatever, we're patrolling, probably. I want this throne. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it, but I'm going to send in a lot of mages and try. So we're going to be doing Earth Power, Army of Gold. We're going to be sending in basically the force that took Pangaea, or a lot of it. And we're going to see if we cannot indeed take this throne. And that will secure us not the victory, but it will definitely be a big obstacle for Agartha to have to climb up and over in order for him to win, because right now I am worried about him going for a throne victory. Myself, if I want to go for a throne victory, I've got 5, so I have on paper more than Agartha. Agartha has 4 on paper, but Agartha also has, I think, the Throne of Law. So I think we're actually tied. But where's the other one? Okay, this one is up in the air, because this one, let's look how many Marignon has. I think Marignon only has 1. Yeah, so this is the Throne of Pestilence here. So anyway, I do want this one. Okay, so yeah, we're doing a very high commitment attack. Though that said, I do not know what Agartha is going to do with this army. On one hand, I've got this big army now on top of this fort, and I'm moving in even more reinforcements to go ahead and pop it. And Agartha is probably going to want to defend this, because if I break through, you can see he just doesn't have that much to defend this whole region of the map. So he may say, hey, I'm overextended in this direction, let's pull this army back. If that is the case, I will happily take this fort. The only risk is I haven't really seen what happened to the Marinese army, and it is possible that it is still inside of here. And if that is the case, then I'll be fighting it and I could die again, which would be annoying. But yeah, anyway, that's a risk we're going to have to run. We're going to continue raiding. This throne is undefended, so we're going to go ahead and put some dudes on top of it. Agartha has still not broken through, or he just broke through this fort, so we're going to watch the battle as he storms it, but I expect he'll take it. And then he'll probably come try to kick me off here, but I'm going to continue checking forts. And once they get kind of lightly defended, where I can pretty safely move in enough undead to one-turn pop it, like I probably will do here, it's going to start forcing his hand, and he's going to become much more predictable in his movement. And when that happens, it's much easier for me to move and raid and not lose as many forces. So anyway, that's what we'll be doing. We're continuing to reinforce this province where I'm putting up a palisade. We are attacking this with a pretty low commitment group of dudes. A lot of the guys which I have here, okay, yeah, they're moving up this way. This one guy is moving back to get more long dead. What do I have here? My scout network just running around. I have started getting some assassins. Maybe I can pick off some of his mages. And if I get enough assassins and enough mage pickoffs, then it's going to just force him to put people on bodyguard, which, as far as I'm concerned, is just a waste of their capacity. And I'm going to be making a play now for this province. This is almost as important for me as a throne, because having a recruit every single turn, Crystal Amazon, and Air Astral Mage is going to make Fog Warriors and Mass Flight ubiquitous. Instead of it being something that is going to pop up every once in a while, it's going to be something I'm going to have on all of my medium armies. But to do that, I have to take this. And Agartha probably knows it, so he's probably not going to let me take this, but anyway. That's the plan. We also have a big group here, and we're going to be getting bigger. I don't know what he's going to do. He may assume I'm going to make a play for the throne, but I'm expecting him to kind of counter-raid here, and whatever he comes into counter-raid with, hopefully it's small, we'll just come and fight that. I think that is about it. And Diplo, yeah, no messages. I think most of our diplomacy is happening out of game. And I don't really have a strong recollection for what happened when. But I do know that earlier, Abyssia was saying, well, Agartha is the biggest on the map now, and I'm not sure who I'm going to attack. I don't want to attack Agartha necessarily, because I'm probably more scared of fighting Sceleria, but Agartha is definitely closest to winning. And so he was probably very hesitant about joining in because he would tip the balance on somebody's side. I was telling him, and I think it's actually probably the right move, is that he should have taken some stuff from Agartha without trying to fight Agarthan armies. Like just saying, hey dude, I'm taking this, and this. And if you want to fight me, then you're going to lose because you're going to have to pull stuff off the front with Sceleria, but otherwise I'm not going to have a chance to win. And supporting you would just mean kind of throwing you the victory. And that would be it, because he has to get land. And he's not going to get land very quickly from marching up this way. So that's probably what I would do, is try to bite some land off Agartha, but then try to attack me. But he's had very limited success trying to attack me. And ultimately, for him, he does not want to damage... It is true, he does not want to damage the Agarthan military, because right now that military is fully committed to fighting me, and if Abyssia cannot fight me, if Agartha can't fight me with Abyssia helping him, then I'm basically going to win the game. But at this point, even though we've kind of been having that back and forth, it's pretty clear that I'm starting to win this war. I mean, it is a grind fest, right? And I'm just... There's tons of battles every turn, and I'm just barely eking up. But I'm barely eking up, and I'm holding on to whatever I have. So it appears that I'm winning this war, and that is probably going to mean that Abyssia is going to attack me soon. I don't think I have a nap with Abyssia. I think they can just kind of attack me whenever they want to. But they're probably also kind of enjoying a ceasefire. Like, they're holding on to some provinces that they probably wouldn't be able to hold on to easily if we were in an all-out war. So... that is basically it, I think, for this turn. High commitment attacks here. We are continuing to raid all over the place up here. We are storming the castle. I do have Power of the Spheres, which is nice. But I don't have any of the real tools that I'm going to need to take this, I don't think. I mean... I don't really know what's inside, and I think I assumed the army left. But this is a low commitment attack, which is not the stuff you use to take a fort if there's anything inside. So probably would be better to move that here, but anyway, we're going to try to storm it. And whatever, even if they don't win, I've got a ton of mages in this area, and they're all just researching to finish up all my final research goals. I do have some things that I want. Once I get Wish up, it will break me into fire magic with Seraphs. And having them will allow me... I mean, it's not just going to break me in, it's going to, rock me into fire, because I'm going to have very high fire access. I would love to be able to throw out flames from the sky myself, so we're going to go very high in evocation. And then Thaumaturgy is going to have some interesting things, like Astral Travel and Master and Slave. And Master and Slave is something that I do really want. So anyway, we'll have to see. I may actually switch priorities and up Thaumaturgy. But anyway, I think that's it for now. You can see kind of the flavor and how the war is going, and you can see my thought process, and I think Agartha's thought process. He's whipping out some different tools to try to deal with all the pressure I'm putting on him, and with some success. So anyway, I will see you next episode. Until then, take care.